Oh my God, DCC Armani in the house. But
Hi.
what we're gonna do, we're gonna strip it back, right? Because you decided to strip it back. First of all, before I even get into the whirlwind that has been the past few days, how are you taking everything? Did you expect it to blow up the way it did?
No. I expected it to be like a big thing, but this is more than I could have even imagined.
It's the world's most famous cheerleading squad in a very, very notorious program. And you decided to bring your purest self, former cheerleader to current cheerleader. I don't think people understand the bravery that it takes to go against the grain in that way. What
Mhm.
made you say this is the year? Because my boots, my cause, that's not a new thing for you all. So why
Right.
this year did you decide to show everybody who you really are?
I think it's something that's always been on my heart that I wanted to kind of like strip back and reveal more of myself
Mhm.
throughout this campaign of My Cause, My Boot. The first year that I did it, I decided to take a video of myself getting ready in the morning without my wig on and posting it on online. And then, just slowly starting to reveal more and more about myself, starting the conversation a little bit more. And I knew as I was getting towards the end of my career that I kind of wanted to do something a little bigger. And I kept hearing this little voice in my head just saying, I think you should dance without your wig on. I think that's the next step in this journey. And it's always one of those things where it's like when you first kind of get that feeling, you don't want to do it. It's really scary, but the little voice never went away. So
Mm.
decided to take the big jump, and here we are.
Let's take it back to a little Armani that heard for the first time. You have voices now, but heard for the first time, hey, this is what you have. You have alopecia and
Mm-hmm.
you're going to start losing your hair. Um, how did your world change when that happened, or did it change when that happened? And what was your new normal?
Well, I was diagnosed when I was 12,
Mm-hmm.
so there's not really a whole lot a 12-year-old can kind of do in that
Mm.
situation as far as, thinking about the future because when you're 12 it's so far away for you. I think it was more so just kind of leaning on my family and my mom as far as what I needed to do, what next steps were, and things like that. And then as I got older and started to learn a little bit more and more about alopecia, that's really when I started to say, okay, this is my new normal. It wasn't always a fun time for me. No
Mm.
one likes waking up in the morning and just having chunks of their hair missing, but it's it's just something that I had to grow into and just figure out how I was going to just keep living my day to day life.
When you were growing up as a 12-year-old, it's funny because I look at your resume, I'm like, you've literally done everything that a little girl can aspire to be, right? You
Yeah.
are living a lot of girls' dreams. You were in the Miss
Hmm.
America system, you
Hmm.
are a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, you danced in college.
Hmm.
What was your idea of one who had it all growing up? And how did your idea of like concepts of beauty form?
I think the first person who I like immediately looked at and said, like, that's someone who has it all would probably be Beyonce. And
Period.
still love her to this day. I think I just loved how she was just so unapologetically her throughout her entire career. She still is. She loves to put African American women, she loves to put different body types, all different kinds of things in the forefront of everything that she does. Um, and I think that's just looking at that as a little girl, that was something that I wanted to do as well. So now that I'm in the place where I have the platform to do that, why not go ahead and start? And I've tried to do that at little steps along the way through the Miss America organization and the Princess program that we have at in South Carolina for the Miss South Carolina organization. I'm just kind of working with little girls who have similarities to me, but also have differences to me. And, just working on building up that next generation. I think I've always just wanted to do that.
Mm. And okay, building up the next generation, I love that because you have the chance to get through to them in a way that a lot of people won't be able to because you have a
Mm-hmm.
lived experience of being othered. What are some affirmations that you have for yourself, and what is something that you can tell another 12-year-old who got diagnosed with alopecia?
Yeah, just telling myself every single day that I'm beautiful. I was created perfectly in God's image, and just kind of just reaffirming those two things every single day. And if I was created in someone's image that, we deem as perfect, then that means that I'm perfect as well. So just letting every single little girl know that you are perfect exactly the way that you were created, whether you have alopecia or not. You should just always continue to believe that.
Mm, yes, ma'am. You
Mhm.
also said you didn't want to just be known as a cheerleader who didn't have hair.
Yeah.
So, flat out, who is Armani?
Oh, Armani is so many different things. She is someone who has alopecia, but
Mhm.
she's a sister, she's a daughter, she's a niece, she's a cousin, she's a friend, she's a role model now, as some people would say. She overall is just human. And I think a lot of people forget that when they think of cheerleaders and people
Mhm.
who are in the public eye, that they're just symbols of what some, long off dream could possibly be. But no, those people are actually human. They actually go through daily struggles that everyone doesn't know about. So, yeah, Armani's human.
Mm. Yes, the humanity of it all. But she's also an athlete, a killer athlete.
She's also an
And we've been
athlete.
able to witness the process of DCC over the years because
Yeah.
y'all have been well documented over the years. The athleticism that it takes to be an NFL cheerleader, the athleticism that it takes to be a dancer throughout the years is something that we cannot overstate. So, can you tell me how training camp is? Like, what is the process? Like, girl, I just look at like I don't have it in me anymore. I don't know how y'all do it, but just to be able to cheer the game, can you talk to us a little bit about the athleticism it takes and everything that you have to bring to the table?
Yes. So training camp is a couple months long. You are learning new routines every single day. There are choreographers coming in. You're learning DCC choreography. You're learning the infamous Thunderstruck routine that is about 4 minutes long. And just that routine in itself is one
4 minutes
of the
is nuts.
hardest, yes, it's one of the hardest dances to do. And we have to do that while also looking effortless at the same time. So
Mm,
you have to put in so much work to work on your stamina. And a lot of people get confused because, you can work out and have good stamina, but having dance
mm.
stamina is a completely different ball game. Traveling 40 plus yards across a field with a smile on your face, trying to breathe, trying to, hit every single
Breathing's
motion.
important.
Breathing is so important, trying to hit every single motion um, sharply and, make it all look effortless at the same time. It takes a while to perfect that craft. And, even sometimes, even if I'm fifth season, I can mess up a motion or two. So that just shows that even though I'm, this far along in my career on the team, that we still make mistakes because it is hard sometimes.
You brought a lot of people joy with your um, vulnerability the other day. But Melissa Rycroft, a former DCC and a judge for your auditions, often
Mhm.
says that you can't help but smile when you look at Armani dancing. So, what sparkle do you bring to dance? How are you able to captivate the audience? Like, what do you think your dance says about you?
I think my dance says that I just love it. The smile on my face comes from just the pure joy of loving everything about dance and what I do. Dance is telling a story. That's what we're told when we're younger. And the story of my life is that, yes, it takes some time to get places that you want to go. You may hear no a couple times. There may be people who don't believe in you, but as long as you believe in yourself, then that's all that matters. And that's what I try to portray in my dance. And I think that's kind of where like the brightness comes about me. I'd rather focus on the good in my life than continue to focus on the negative.
Mm. And one could argue as you're performing, whether that be costumes for auditions or in the DCC uniform, that it's already kind of little, right? But
Yeah,
this time was different and you bore more. So why is it different to strip down the hair aspect, even though you're already kind of stripped down in general?
I think it's more important because in society, women are judged by their hair.
Mm,
As much as we don't want that to be a thing, if your hair's too long, if your hair's too short, if it's the wrong color, and there's a lot of those things that um, have been a norm, quote unquote, of DCC, that you have to have the perfect hair.
mhm.
So, even though we're already, as you said, stripped back as far as what we wear, it was more important for me to showcase that beauty is something other than what hair you have on your head, whether it's all yours or it's not.
Mm. Yeah, and because you took to doing this, I saw the huddle, I saw the video from the locker room, but I also we heard what they said, but I also heard or saw Judy hug you. So when Judy
Mm-hmm.
hugged you before, were any words exchanged? And what did she say to you if there were, if you're open to sharing?
Yeah.
And what was your internalized thought process as you had that last embrace before you took the field?
Well, I could see her actually trying to hug me before she actually did.
You're just
And
like,
I was like, I don't know if I actually want to give this hug from Judy, even though
hmm
I love a Judy hug, because I knew I might break down.
mm,
And I still did. I still bawled crying after she gave me that hug. But she gave me the tightest hug and she said, I'm so proud of you. You're going to do great. You're going to make a difference. And then
indeed.
that's when the tears started flowing.
Mm,
So it
mm.
was just really special to get that embrace from one of our coaches right before going out, because obviously I knew all of my teammates supported me, and I did know that Kelly and Judy supported me, but just to get that last final um, hug of support before going out, it meant everything.
You started writing your legacy now, but in 2014, you put on your Instagram, elegance is not about being noticed, it's about being remembered. And that's a Giorgio Armani quote.
It
Um,
is.
what do you want to be remembered by?
I want to be remembered by making a difference, whether that's in one person's life or thousands of people's lives. I want to be remembered for standing up for what's right. Um, Starting the conversation for those who can't start the conversation for themselves. Just always being a person who pushes the envelope and pushes the conversation forward.
It seems like you've created a lot of buzz, and I want to thank you for being so vulnerable. I want to congratulate you for your cause literally serving its purpose and for the light and joy you bring. We are thankful. So I want to offer you flowers and say we are so
Thank
thankful for
you.
you, Armani, a Black girl from South Carolina that is on the America's team and is showing 5 years, 5 years that she is enough, she's adequate, she's amazing. And I hope that you keep dancing your way into everybody's heart, no matter if you're on
Thank
that field or
you.
not. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.